Before I joined this program, my dreams felt very distant and far away, but now I'm seeing brightness in it.
Hello viewers, welcome to Kakuma refugee camp in Turkana County. We are here in Kakuma 1 near Clinic 4. This is where we have our amazing containers. You can see it at the back there. That is where we are doing the magic, where we are training our participants on how to learn digital skills that can enable them to be self-reliant and be economically viable citizens of this lovely, lovely world. So thank you and welcome.
Young people get these 3D modeling skills and be able to compete with other young people or other people in the whole world to be able to bid for jobs under the freelancing category.
This future of work model and online opportunities have been a talking point for long, and a few freelancing projects have been set up in the past in Africa. But when we came to Kakuma, for example, we tried to look for youth that have utilized these online opportunities, and we found only one or two, and they had done only a few gigs ever, and they definitely were not, in terms of technical or soft skills, on the level that they could do it consistently. So that was the kind of the level we started off with. We noticed that kind of through this, that most of these projects have acted upon a flawed model. And you heard from the previous video that we focus on 3D modeling. And you might ask why, and it doesn't really make a difference which precise niche skill that are in kind of global demand. But it just happened to become 3D modeling as the pilot, since after interactions with multiple companies, we found a specific interest in 3D modeling in particular, and companies that wanted to co-create the curriculum with us to also match their specific needs. And what we're doing is a very silo approach and kind of focus on one branch of the tree instead of the whole tree. That's why like the very niche skill that we teach, which you can become pretty good at and sell the services based upon that. And kind of we do it with the whole thing is kind of a matrix of variables, where time is of dramatic importance, and time kind of which it takes to get marketable skills is a determinant of whether any of this works. And more time means too much resource go into the project, and too much time means you lose the interest from the people you want to serve. And kind of our beneficiaries or refugees, they need interactions with companies early on, and they need real work assignments that create this action-based learning experience, which we think is the best experience that there is. The beneficiary we have, they also need to learn to work as a unit. And so we use it in a way that the best ones are kind of middlemen based in the companies and assuring quality, while new beneficiaries come into it, learning these very key skills that are needed to do it in the long run.
So working with the company from Europe, it was a very good experience. Like when I used to work in a salon, I could work like for months, 3 months, and generate something like 5K, which was a very low amount. But working in a salon, working with Studio Exact in Europe, I worked with them with a project which I just worked on for just something like 2 weeks, and I generated a huge amount of money, which I got like 200 euros, which is like 30K here in Kenya. So it was a very good experience, and it was a very good one, because like I can say, companies in Europe, they don't hesitate in your work. When you just do their work as they have asked you, they'll just pay you your salary without any compromise.
name is Isa Klimberg and I'm the founder of Studio Exact. Studio Exact specializes in 3D modeling and 3D rendering. We are located here in Scandinavia, both in Helsinki and Copenhagen. And together with Ambitious Africa, we have developed this 3D course with the huge need of 3D artists at the moment, and companies who needs everything from product images to animations to visualize concepts. Companies who are developing games or building houses. Everybody needs a digital replica of that. We hope to assist everyone to get to that level where you feel comfortable within the various softwares, and also how you can tackle a real life task, from actually getting in contact with the client to, in the end, providing them with a image that they can then use for e-commerce or for their social media. The possibilities are essentially endless.
My work is basically to create the course that the participants themselves are going to use throughout the period that they're together with us. 3D modeling is such an important aspect of the creative industry in that it lays the foundation for a very diverse set of outcomes, in that 3D modelers are able to create assets for things that can be used in film, or things that can be used in gaming, or things that can be used even in the scientific fields like the medical field or architecture. 3D modeling is such an interesting facet of the whole creative industry, in that it's, in very simple terms, it's digital sculpting, whereby an artist identifies a shape and then creates something new out of it. And that's the basic definition of what 3D is, and that's what we are trying to give the participants those skills. As a technical lead in this project, I have managed to learn how to deal with a diverse set of people. Being a lecturer myself, and teaching students who are not necessarily in the conditions that the participants are in this scenario, it has enabled me to learn how to adapt my work to cater for people who are marginalized or have certain disadvantages or unique setups. The major difference between how I design my courses for students elsewhere in other universities or how I design it here is that I have to put into place the factors surrounding the participants over here, which some of it includes infrastructure, that's access to equipment, online accessibility, and how well they can adapt, or adaptability into certain conditions that might arise from them. So I have to be very wary of that, and I have to include it into the course, in that every single aspect is watered down to cater for the equipment that's available and the online accessibility that they're able to have.
Yes, when we began, for sure, there were no role models within the camp. Rather, I never met any. So we had to pioneer, we had to start from scratch. We had to begin to look for people who are interested, or for those who are not interested, we had to create the interest within them so that they get to understand what is it that we are doing, what is it that we purpose to do, how will it benefit them, and how will it add value, how will they be valuable members of the society. So it was quite challenging, but what is life without challenges? Actually, I had to take myself back and sit down and learn how to 3D model, take a few short courses, engage on call with the lead, technical lead who is in Nairobi, always learning, go to YouTube, use lessons to learn so that I can remain relevant, because I realized I cannot facilitate something that I really have no grip about. So it's still a learning process. I'm not yet there, but I believe that this far we have gotten as a team. I have learned both from the participants and they have learned from me. So it's been a two-way process.
We've been having challenges in balancing the ratio of male and female in the project. We're having challenges being able to enroll as many girls or as many female candidates as we would wish we can be able to enroll. And one of the challenges is because of the cultural practices around the community where we're running this project, that is the refugee community and the host community.
This opportunity and working as a freelancer, it exposes women to outward diversity and help them to interact with different nationality. Let's say, for instance, exposes them to outward diversity. You know, the role of women in Africa is to stay at home and take care of the children and home chores. And the role of husband is to bring food at home and cater for everything. So when women are exposed to outward diversity or to do freelancing, they will be able to purchase things for themselves, and they will not be able to depend for everything to their husband. When I just finished my secondary education, I was struggling to get job, and you know, here in Kakuma, job opportunity are very limited. So to purchase food in our family was very difficult, and we were able to eat only one meal, which was supper. So when I get this opportunity to be a freelancer, I was able to do some gigs through these skills of freelancing. And now I'm able to purchase food for my family and my personal needs. Working online is an easy pathway for you to earn, because like when you are a freelancer or when you are doing freelancing, you can do at any place at your own time. So when you schedule your own time and at your own place, and when you have your own business, so you can do both work at one time.
Innovation is key in terms of quality services that we are offering to the communities or to the beneficiaries that we serve as an organization. And with the changing world, with the technology changing the world, we need to embrace new way of doing things, and we also need to empower the beneficiaries and the communities that we're serving. So with this innovation or taking digital literacy to another level, where we're equipping our young people with skills that they can be able to use in the digital world to be able to earn themselves a coin or to be able to sustain themselves. That's why we are very excited to partner with Ambitious Africa to ensure that we support the young people that we are serving in the Kakuma refugee camp and the host community.
Actors Sweden had for a long time worked with livelihood and different livelihoods projects for the last 30 years. We'd also seen, especially in the last 10 to 15 years, that nothing happened, nothing was changing. It was the same old livelihood projects. It was the same way of doing agriculture, which was not based on any market analysis. It was also based on assumption of that all boys should be mechanics or all women should work on as hairdressers. And they actually didn't earn any money from that. They were also a great disappointment from that. And based on that, we also were looking into how can we find new innovative ways of livelihood. And also part of that is also to find different kind of livelihood projects, that we need to have portfolio of different kind of livelihoods altogether. But I'm very excited to be here today and to see the launch of this project, but also that you are here together, because you are the project. You are the ones who are actually making this project together. And remember one thing: if you don't really like this kind of
usually projects and NGOs, rely on intuition when it comes to, what kind of things are in demand when they do or create livelihood projects. But we feel it's super important to get validation, real validation from real companies that what we're doing is actually needed. And this validation is so key. And without it, whether you're an NGO or a startup, you rarely succeed.
Youth is a majority part of the Africa continent population, and to have no possibilities for earning your own income and to be independent also creates disappointment, migration, and also conflicts to a certain extent. And that was absolutely the contrary to what we wanted to do with livelihood.
I'm Anderson Ejikon. I'm a 3D modeler. I'm from Kakuma. Yes, unemployment affects youth in Kakuma because like ladies, they got early marriages because they don't have anything to do. Some of them, they got pregnant. The second, some of them, they become thieves because they don't have anything. They are just idle, and that's why they become thieves outside there. And sometimes they create insecurity in our village. A role model can bring positive changes in Kakuma, because if someone is idle somewhere and a role model can come and do something which is inspire either all community or youth, I think everyone they will come with that spirit, so that they want to know how that things works. And that's why I can say yes, a role model can inspire and bring the positive changes in Kakuma. For me to become a role model for my children, I have to show them an examples from me first, because I can give them hope and show them the bright future. And then I will give them motivation in their life, so that they can understand how their life is.
So here in Kakuma, we are given ration, and we are given ration per person is 1 kg, and we are given it after every 1 month. So it is a very small amount of food. And we are given also bamba chakula, which they give us money, and per person they used to give like 800, but now it is something like 450. So if I generate an extra income through my hustling, I will use it like maybe buying food, changing the diet at home, buying some clothes, buying the needs of my siblings. Yeah. So our family is a family of 12 people, and I am the 5th child in our family. And I have my older sisters and brothers. My 2 sisters got married. My 2 elder brothers, they are in Nairobi. They are hustling, and it has been like something like 14 years since my father lost his job, and my mother is not working. So it's like I'm at the top of the family, where I try to generate some money so that I could help my siblings and myself.
So by the name, I'm Brian Ekiru Fred. I'm a 3D designer. I learned 3D designing through Ambitious Africa. So what I found challenging in the technical side of 3D designing is like the accuracy and the active details in the models. Because in 3D designing you should be very accurate, because the slightest mistake you can make in a model may affect your model in the final outcome. Some of the skills I have identified which are very important and vital in 3D designing are like confidence. You should be self-assured. you should have negotiation skills which helps you in negotiating with clients.
Church of Sweden funds humanitarian interventions in Eastern Africa and also in Kenya. And we usually fund projects that are focusing on education for young children and children with disabilities, for example, which is very important. But this project that we are funding now, it's unique because these projects enable youth to get access to new kinds of livelihoods that is not typical for humanitarian interventions. By freelancing, they can also connect to the rest of the world, which is very innovative.
1, 2, 3.
So we found Ambitious Africa, which actually combines exactly what we as ACT Church of Sweden were looking for. Innovative, young organization, and a link to the private sector, which we as ACT Church of Sweden do not have, and neither our partners. We are joining our forces together. ACT Church of Sweden with a long-term expertise in development aid. Ambitious Africa with a young, innovative way of working and a link to the private sector. And creating a model that actually works for people and change people's life. For example, that someone with a traditional livelihood project will get $10 per month. In this project, in this model, are getting $100 per month. And that change is huge. And together, by joining us together, we make this change.
We've been in partnership with LWF here in Kakuma refugee camp for many, many years now. And what really excited us about this ambitious youth project is bringing the market to refugee youth and also people from the host community, because there's an entire world out there. I mean, why should we limit youth to a particular field? So we're really excited in partnership with ACT Church of Sweden and Ambitious Africa to grow the project after this first pilot phase. We just think sky's the limit, or the internet is the limit.
I really hope that this project and the model inspires others to take this kind of approach in use when designing these kind of livelihood projects.
For those who have graduated in the first cohort and those who are about to graduate in the second cohort, I have seen change from them in terms of curiosity. They are curious to know more about 3D. Some are very curious even to get to animation. So it has been quite an interesting journey. In the beginning it was scary because there's fear of the unknown, there's fear of the unexpected, but I'm happy that we all embraced it as a team, and also the participants were favorable enough to be patient with me and the whole process. They were patient, they exercised a lot of patience, because there were moments I didn't know what to do, I didn't know what to say, but we pulled our heads together and we sailed through. So it has been a crazy journey. It has been a crazy journey, ups and downs, but at least we were moving. We are still growing, we are still learning, and we are here in Kakuma to stay. This program, we are going to implement it in other parts of the region by God's grace. Thank you and welcome.